it's Candy. I decided I wanted to film today. I couldn't figure out what I wanted to film today. I just thought, hey, let's take advantage of the good makeup day.
Or actually really the at all makeup day, because I'm pretty lazy on the makeup.
So as I was sitting around trying to figure out what I really wanted to talk about, I remember that one of you guys had asked about advice on how to get over someone or how to get over heartbreak, you know, a breakup, things like that. Now here's the thing. Any type of end to anything is typically a little bit sad, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're leaving a job and whether you leave on good terms or bad terms, there's always a sadness, you know? Like there's always for some reason we feel sad when something ends, and things don't always necessarily have to be that way. I know when I was younger, I was devastated by heartbreak. Devastated. Like every person I dated, I thought was it. They were going to be the one. I thought that I just needed to settle down, and I just wanted to be in love so bad that I kind of would do anything for it, really. I would settle for anyone, really. I was in a really, really, really tumultuous relationship, I would say close to 10 years ago, give or take. And that relationship was like the worst heartbreak for me, like the absolute worst heartbreak for me. During that relationship, like I said, it was super, super, super tumultuous completely, like on both sides. We were just it was just made us both monsters. And I ended up going into a treatment facility for depression and some drug use, recreational drug use, and self-harm, and eating disorders, and like for a whole bunch of things. It was like a multiple treatment center. We hadn't broken up when that had happened. We had had a really, really, really big fight, and one thing led to another, and I hurt myself, and the police were called, and they put me into this treatment facility, and I had to do a 6-month stint there. Like I only was inpatient for, I don't even remember how long I was inpatient, but when I got out, I was pretty much forced by the state of Florida to complete a 6-month treatment there because I had hurt myself, and he had told them I was trying to kill myself. So the worst relationship, as far as like the worst heartbreak, that relationship was constant heartbreak. Even before we broke up, it was constant heartbreak. And I loved him so, so, so much, I thought. But that program is kind of what changed and saved my life in a sense. They started talking about things like codependency, and I had never heard of that. And codependency is basically when two people are codependent. They depend on each other to survive in a sense. And usually you have someone who is a user and someone who's a saver, or sometimes you have a mixture of both in it. But basically both people feed off of each other, and it's not always positive, you know. I know most people are codependent in some sort, and for some reason we're just trained that it's supposed to be that way. We're just supposed to want to be with somebody and forever and hurry up and get married and do this, and you know, we're just kind of trained that way, right? Well, I started going to CODA meetings, which are Codependent Anonymous meetings. They have them in a lot of different cities, and I started reading a book called Codependent No More by Melody Beattie. And I would say that point started changing my life. Like that was the turning point in my life with everything. So I started going to the meetings. I worked the program. I still stayed with the guy. Even when I graduated out of the program, I was still with the guy. And he wasn't always supportive, but he wasn't always a dick either. Like he wasn't 100% always a fucking dick. You know, it's not always like that. People try to portray it that way. I was just as violent and mean and nasty as well. But he wasn't, you know, like I said, he wasn't always supportive. He wasn't always negative, but like sometimes he would take my car and not be back in time, or he, you know, we just didn't get along. He didn't really want to be with me, and I just would use kind of suicide to I kind of trapped him in a sense with the fact of using that I was suicidal, or using that my life was going to be over if I left him. And that's the worst thing you can do to somebody, guys. The worst thing you can ever do to somebody is make them feel guilty for being like wanting to leave you. Like, if you're not 100% want to be together, there's really no reason at all to be together. So when you like guilt someone into kind of staying with you, it's not going to work out in the long run. So just stop it, and let it go. Just let it go. So fast forward a few months after all of that, we actually got into a really bad altercation, which ended up with just a lot of court and legal issues, and it was just a really, really, really shitty time. And even then, my heart was breaking so much. I had kicked him out. He was lived with another girl. Even then, we still secretly had an affair on the side. I wasn't allowed to talk to him. And then it was just, and we were secretly talking, and my dad was bailing me out of everything and told me that if I talked to him, he would never have anything to do with me again. And so I was like, it was a really fucked up time for me. And I did it all because I loved him so much. I even remember at one point I was going to run away to Arizona because his daughter at the time, I think, lived there or something. And he wanted to run away there, and I literally, we talked about it. I don't know if he was serious or not, but we talked about running away there, and I was going to leave my family, which my family doesn't live here, but I knew if I ran away with him, in a sense, my family wouldn't have anything to do with me ever again, ever, ever, ever. So I'd be giving up everything for him, which, look, I'm so glad I didn't. But both of us have better lives now. We've both moved on. We're both happier. I haven't talked to him in years and years and years, and I wish him nothing but the best. And but that was a really heartbreaking time for me in my life. That was a very, very heartbreaking time for me. And I remember it was a very rough time for me. And I was very depressed and I cried a lot. And I remember listening to Beyonce a lot, actually, funny enough. And I remember there was a song, what was the name of that song? Irreplaceable. It was called Irreplaceable. And there's a part in it when she says, so since I'm not your everything, how about I'll be nothing, nothing at all to you? And baby, I won't shed a tear for you. I won't lose a wink of sleep, because the truth of the matter is replacing you is so easy. And I started thinking about that, and like, he was such a jealous guy with other guys, and he thought like I was cheating. It was always, of course, him cheating, but I specifically remember like hearing that and thinking like, you know what, that's so true. If I can't be everything, I'm not going to be anything, because there's no reason to give your time and your energy to somebody who doesn't feel you the same. After that, I took a few years off of serious relationships. I dated here and there, but I wasn't really serious about anybody. I had some fun, and I just remember I hurt so bad for so long that I didn't want another rebound. I literally, from the time I was, say, like 16, would date someone and then break up with them and already have somebody ready to go, like rebound after rebound. And I hurt somebody. Actually, when that guy and I broke up, I jumped into a pretty serious relationship immediately afterwards. And he was such a nice guy, but because I was still wrapped up with the other guy, and because I was still there, I couldn't give this guy a chance, and I really, really hurt him and broke his heart by just kind of like blowing things up, and was like, just get the fuck out of my life, just because I wasn't ready for all of that. And you can really damage somebody by doing that. So you need to take time off, not only for yourself so that you can like get your shit back together and get your head back in a better place, but you have to also do that for the potential people that you're going to hurt because you weren't 100% right. You feel me? So at the end of the day, I took a few years off, and before I really decided to start getting serious again. And then the guy that I'm with now, my fiance, we got serious, or we started dating, and we took it kind of slow at first. It actually did kind of end up going kind of fast. We moved in together pretty quick after that happened. But I just knew that he was a good guy, and that like I was finally ready to like stop fucking with the bad boys and give like the good guy a chance. And here 7 years later, we're happy as, how do they say in Tennessee, pigs and shit. We're happy as little piglets and shit.
That's a weird reference, right? I'm not really like, whatever. You feel me there, right? You understand?
So really, besides eating a lot of chocolate, ice cream, watching a lot of sappy TV, and listening to sad songs, I don't have much real advice to you as far as how to get over heartbreak. All of us are different. All of us take it different. All of us deal with things different. All of us have different issues going on, and really you just need to know that everything you need to do needs to be for you. You need to self-heal for you. You need to, you know, one of the worst things I would always do is I would always go back. You know, I always say once they're an ex, they're an ex, but I wouldn't go back to my exes, but like we would kind of do the half breakup thing, and then like in 3 or 4 days you would start texting again and talking, and then you would meet up and be like, I miss you, and then full force back to where you were, and 3 days later you fucking hate each other again. And when it's like that, there's no reason to be in that sort of relationship. So I stopped doing that. I totally stopped doing that. And you know, I would say that's a big thing. It's like once you know you're done, be done. Don't keep going back and forth. Like, be fucking done. That was a big eye-opener for me, and like, I mean, that was a big wake-up for me. Also, whatever it is you like to do, like if you like to put on makeup, then start just really watching tutorials and putting makeup on. I feel like keeping busy helps with the loneliness. I would feel like the newness of being single. I feel like staying busy keeps you, you know, your mind from thinking shit it shouldn't think. And, you know, things like journaling. This is a Wreck This Journal. I really, really like this thing. It's got different, so you're not just writing. And I do also have a writing journal I write in, but like a Wreck This Journal is a really cool idea. Or reading, whatever book you like to read. This is a very interesting book called Behold a Pale Horse by William Cooper. I highly recommend it. Or even things like coloring. Like this is an inspirational adult coloring book. So, for example, it's got inspirations in it. Like little whatever, like this says is for awesome. Oh, A is for awesome. So this says A is for awesome, or that's actually a pretty one. Or let love grow. You know, just, and a lot of that comes from like within too. You need to self-love, and I promise you that once you really just turn all of like your love towards yourself, that everything really kind of just falls into place. Like I know it's so cliche and so dumb to say in a sense, but it really does. Once you are happy, you don't need external things or people to provide you happiness. So that's all I have for you today, guys. I know heartbreak is so hard to deal with, but I have faith in you. Have faith in yourself, because I know you'll feel better soon. I hope that something that I said could maybe give you a little bit of insight and maybe a little bit of help. As always, thank you so much for watching. Please share, like, and subscribe if you haven't already. And until next time, be nice to each other, because remember, nobody likes a fucking asshole. Mwah. Bye.